anybody watching out there. Tom Stakes, you already know. Steve, my trusty co-host here.
Yeah.
Weird schedule the last couple weeks because
oh my God,
all the stuff we're dealing with. But good news in Philly right now is that the Phillies start tomorrow.
Yes, they do.
There we go. I haven't really thought about the Phillies much this offseason, and it just seems like baseball season always creeps up and just comes right back. And other than Trey Turner, I haven't really kept up with how they've looked, but hopefully everything's going well. And opening day is tomorrow, so we got to see what Aaron Nola's got, and if they can overcome some of these injuries, Rhys Hoskins and Bryce Harper, who's not going to come back for a couple months or whatever it is, weeks. I don't really know the timeline of his injury, but I think they're in for another big year. They still, even without those two guys, they still have such a great team, it seems, with the addition of Turner and then some of the guys from last year, if they can step up and continue progressing. So exciting times for baseball fans. This is obviously a football show, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. But Steve, could I get a quick real early prediction of what the Phillies have in store?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about the Phillies till I'm blue in the face, but no, I think it's going to be a great season. The Rhys Hoskins injury is unfortunate, but from my perspective, one of those core guys, if you were to lose someone, I think it's probably him. You could make the case for Castellanos. However, they're kind of thin at outfield till Bryce gets back. But, this offense is primed. Stott, Bohm, Marsh all took pretty big leaps last year, particularly Bohm. So I think that you're going to get a lot of production from those guys. Rotation and some injuries on the back end that come in, but they'll look good. But this bullpen is stacked. There's 6 playoff spots. They get in the playoffs, which they will. I don't know if they'll win the division. The division's really tough, but they just get in. The Phillies in a 3-game, 5-game series in the playoffs with that bullpen and Nola and Wheeler, they are tough to beat. So I feel like they're really primed for the playoffs, and it'll be a good season. Lots of hitting, and it's gonna be great. So I don't know if they'll win the division because it's so tough. They're in another division, they'd have a good chance, but they'll be in there. They'll be in the playoffs.
Awesome. Love to hear it. I know they got Christian Pache today. So that's, a young guy. Yeah. So some solid depth there, I guess, and someone just to look at developing and things like that. But
and I think I kind of said on the show a few weeks ago is what the Eagles and the Phillies are doing the right thing, where they have these superstar core talents now that Bryce Harper kind of brought in, but they're adding these younger guys where we need them to fill in and do roles. We're not expecting them to come in and hit 30 home runs, do all this stuff. So that's really what this Eagles, as they're building with this Jalen Hurts regime, is all about. And you love to see it. And that's how you build good teams. We're not asking these guys to come in and go nuts. And that's exactly what the Eagles are doing with this free agency.
I think it all changes when you have that core player.
Yeah.
In football, it is the quarterback. In baseball, it can be any position.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's a guy that's going to hit well. He's going to be a leader. Bryce Harper is that guy. And now the Eagles have, Bryce Harper has his money. Now the Eagles have a situation and transition right into the Eagles, where they have a quarterback that had a breakout season. He's been amazing as a leader in the locker room. He deserves, all the money that really anybody would at any juncture of quarterbacking. If you have a year like that and you have a contract that's up, then you deserve a big contract extension. So we all know the challenges with that come keeping the team together, and you do need to rely a little bit on some cheaper to fill in the roles, maybe not be superstars like you said, but it is very, very crucial that a guy like Jordan Davis takes that next leap, and potentially a bargain signing like Rashad Penny has a big year for you, because you can't spend as much money on guys like in free agency like they've done in the past and in the first 2 years of Jalen Hurts, or 3 years really, but 2 years that he's been starting it on a rookie deal. It's going to start to change a little bit, and Howie Roseman touched on that during the owners' meetings this week, about how they're kind of shifting and preparing. And they said they want to get that deal done. Now, Steve, you have a very kind of not unique, I guess to say, but a pretty risky take on what Jalen Hurts is going to do when that contract comes up. And let's hear what you think about Jalen Hurts contract negotiations.
Yeah, I mean, what I think, and this is, I got to give my sister-in-law credit on this one. She's theorizing, and I agree with her that I think Jalen said at the beginning of offseason, Howie, do your thing, keep the team together, and we'll sort of continue to, we want to keep this thing intact the best that we can. Obviously, we're going to lose pieces in free agency, but this is a very unique situation where I think, we did lose people in free agency, but, you know,
Weird.
Fletcher Cox, yeah, his current comments insane. But like, look at what the Eagles did in free agency, even though they were limited already. Retained Brandon Graham for a year, Jason Kelsey, of course, Fletcher Cox, Bradbury, Slay. Those are five, very key players on your football team. You can mute yourself if you want. Those are five on your football team that you really needed to really like stay and prove this thing. And whereas the Bengals, and a lot of other like they're the Joe Burrow contract's a very big one, the Lamar Jackson, they were not as active in free agency. And yes, we had a bunch of little moves, but I think what Jalen Hurts said is we'll figure it out.
Yep.
We're gonna make this team, and I think he's gonna get paid handsomely. But I think he's gonna take a little less than these other guys. I really do.
I can't focus because our friend just put a funny comment in the chat. I'm not sharing the comment. It's not appropriate whatsoever for a family show. But no, I think you're right up the right up the right alley. And I'm sorry for interrupting with laughing.
No. But I really do think that is what was said was figured out in free agency. Are the Eagles really going to sign that many big free agents left? They might make a trade or something like that to extend the guy. But I think in terms of giving out contracts, they're probably at the tail end of that, maybe a low-key signing or two left. But obviously you got to allocate, like $10 million or something like that for draft picks. I don't know, something in that range. So they're gonna do that. But I think that I think over the summer, this is when it could happen in the next day or two, but I think that's the conversation that they had was let's keep this thing intact and then we'll move forward.
Yeah, yep, I agree. I can't hold it together. That's the worst thing. Only dude that could leave a comment to maybe crack up for the next 4 hours. But
it's a great comment, but it's more of who said it, I think, too. You can almost hear the man saying the comment in a
he's really ruining our show with these comments.
Yeah, he is. But you know what? All viewers are good viewers, so that's an important
exactly. And we have two of them, including Nina, who said, "Hey, I'll show that." Nina says, "Hey, I say what's up." To you as well, being one of our only live viewers on YouTube. I think a lot of people, not a lot, let's just say a couple people maybe tune in on Twitter here and there, but appreciate Nina for stopping by on our YouTube, trying to build that up. We used to have a better YouTube presence when we had our old channel, but we're just trying to build this one up. I think it's a little tough. It's competitive, but yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, the bottom line is Jalen Hurts is the ultimate leader and has said time and time again that his focus and his obsession is winning the Super Bowl. Like he wants to be the best. He absolutely wants to be the best. And when the Eagles committed to him in the offseason last year, going into 2021, after the 2021 season, everyone's speculating, are they going to go after a Russell Wilson, a Deshaun Watson? Mm-hmm. Why did the Eagles stick with Jalen Hurts? Well, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, Nick Sirianni all echoed the same sentiment that they feel that they're going to get the best of Jalen Hurts. Now, whether that's as good as X or Y, whatever, who knows? But at the end of the day, they're going to get the best. He's going to work his tail off and do everything he can. And that doesn't necessarily mean he has to take a pay cut. I don't want to see the guy not get paid, not, max his deal out or max his value out. But I don't think I don't think he is the type of guy that's ever going to feel personally disrespected if they try to work a deal out that favors continuing to build the team and keeping guys around him. And that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get less money, but maybe a certain structure, things like that. And other guys, you see it around the league. You see a guy like Lamar Jackson right now representing himself, going for the big bucks, feeling kind of disrespected by the Ravens. And honestly, I would too. I think the Ravens made a big mistake.
Huge mistake.
A year or two ago. But the point is the Eagles are not going to get to that situation with Jalen Hurts because
No.
of the maturity. I think that, that Jeffrey Lurie said it best. He's the most mature 24-year-old guy that he's ever met. And I just from watching him and seeing him work, the way he works, the way he goes about his business, it's encouraging to know that the Eagles are in really good hands with his mindset. And it's not a mindset of I need to do, this, and this and get paid. It's I want to win. I'm going to do the best for me and what that is. And then I'm also going to keep in mind what's best for the team as well. And I think you're going to see that when he signs his contract.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be calling Howie a genius, which rightfully so. The guy's a great financial mind and knows how to work contracts and all that. But I think we're going to have to give a little credit to Jalen Hurts, too, for being flexible and not taking things to heart and wanting to see this team succeed just as much as he wants to be a highly paid player. So
yeah,
I think it's a great point.
No, and you're right. It's totally a mutual respect thing. I think that Jalen Hurts wants this team to be better, and he cares about winning more than anything. I don't think he cares about being the highest paid. He wants to be the best ever. And the highest paid player doesn't translate that way. I mean, Tom Brady for years, I mean, that's like, the example, but like Patrick Mahomes, he makes more money from State Farm probably than it is from the Chiefs. Like, honestly, like he takes a lot, like he gets paid well, but he's taking less than the maximum deal so they can still build the team around. So I do think that there's something to be said to that, where it's like, okay, like I want to compete at this high level. I'm a competitor. And, guys like Patrick Mahomes, you don't hear much about him at all during offseason. Jalen Hurts, you don't hear anything about it. The only time I see Patrick Mahomes is courtside at a Texas A&M game, if he goes to watch basketball game, and a State Farm commercial, Texas Tech. Yeah. Those are the only times I see him.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. So, they just put their head down and work. And to be honest, when you're in that position where you have the ability to draw more sponsorships and endorsements because of the position you play, it's not always in your best interest to milk your team dry. And I feel like with, people are like, oh, well, Brady was married to a supermodel and he's got this and this and this. And that's all great, but you're still going to make, 40 some $1 million a year, taking shaving a couple mil off your money just to keep the team a little bit more financially afloat. It doesn't have to be a situation where, like, no, well, I'm the disrespect. And you know what? A legend like Tom Brady, like he got that, he did what he had to do. But like, look on the other side, Aaron Rodgers, just as big a superstar. I mean, maybe not Brady is the pinnacle, but Aaron Rodgers, mega superstar.
Yeah.
All the endorsements, all the fame, all what he wants. Dates actors, dates models, does the has the media hanging by a string. And this guy, every couple years, throws a fit so that the Packers would make him the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Yep.
Have you ever seen when these guys get deals, you think Pat Mahomes is going to do that? I don't think so. I think he's going to sit on the deal he has and let them work. And if guys get paid higher than him, all right, whatever. Like it's whatever. I'm not going to make a scene about it. We'll figure it out behind closed doors, and they'll take care of me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but guys like Aaron Rodgers and a guy like, I mean, I can't think any off the top of my head that acted quite like Aaron Rodgers. That guy's a total diva. And
I mean, Deshaun Watson's contract was pretty ridiculous considering that.
That's true. Well, the stuff that went down.
Yeah, of course. But also, regardless of that, not playing for a whole year. And it's like, and what did he really do? I mean, granted, Texas to build team around. I hate him as a person, but it's like, what did you really even accomplish?
Yeah, I agree. I said the same thing about him. That's why I didn't really want him even before.
I did. Oh my God, I didn't.
Off the field, that would have been hard. Off the field stuff. I said he's a good player, but something's a little off about his leadership. When they traded a couple guys away from that team, he immediately just said, "I want out," and that doesn't speak highly about someone's leadership to me. It's not something that you want out of the quarterback position. You don't want your quarterback to. Is this another bad? Okay, that's a good question. Let's put that on the screen. So, should the man that's obsessed with his car in his profile picture asks, should the NFL introduce a QB specific cap? It makes it near impossible to pay other players due to contracts like Watson and what Lamar expects to earn. That's a good point. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're the
Yeah.
CBA. I don't think the NFL Players Association would necessarily. I mean, if it helps the players, then sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Then you're starting to deal with, you might start to deal with what baseball kind of
Yeah.
is or was. Does baseball have a salary cap? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, no, but it's a luxury tax, so you can spend as much as you want. You just get taxed on it. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, I mean, I like the salary cap. That is a really unique opinion and idea. I never
Yeah.
really thought of something like that, but it is true. It's very tough, and that's part of the challenges of managing a team. And once you have to pay that
Yeah.
quarterback, it is impossible, impossible to retain all the talent year over year. But you expect the quarterback to make. He just keeps leaving goofy, goofy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Um,
Yeah, but I'm gonna ban this dude from our show from now on. I appreciate the support, dude, but I might actually beat the living heck out of this man. No, it's funny
yeah.
being on this side of the moderation and able to just kind of let all the comments go. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start putting a cat filter on. I'm gonna have a specific filter on the comments that filter out.
We got to blacklist some words on here that can't be in the
Yeah,
chat, but
yeah,
no, I mean, the Eagles and everyone should feel so good about Jalen Hurts' demeanor and the way he acts and carries himself. He's not going to get distracted by all that petty stuff, and like that's just really cool, and it's very rare to have someone like that that's really taking the ego out of sports, especially
yeah,
with the social media and all that stuff, and everyone's comparing themselves to other contracts going up every year. Like
mhm,
Jesus, like how much money is Derek Carr making this year? Like, oh my God, like
yeah. I mean,
it's
exactly.
insane. So
And then the next couple contracts is
Daniel Jones.
yeah, Daniel Jones. You got Justin Herbert coming up. You got Joe Burrow coming up, just with the
Yeah,
same draft class as Hurts was in. But yeah,
yeah,
you're right. It's very refreshing and very reassuring to have a guy. I mean, you can even look at our last quarterback, Carson Wentz. That guy
yeah,
had a passive, maybe passive aggressively, but he had an
yeah.
ego. You
Yeah,
know,
no, he was definitely, passive aggressive and
that was part of his downfall was that he didn't want to put his own ideologies and mentality aside to be more flexible. It's pretty
yeah,
cool right now, though, that we have 3 live YouTube watchers,
yeah,
and that's 3 times as many as we've ever had.
yeah,
We've
yeah,
only ever had 1 at a time, and now we have 3 people. So, a long time ago, I saw Mac Miller on Facebook used to post, or in a documentary, he said that when he would be dropping like a new video or a song, he would go just as hard as for the 3 people that would comment on his first couple posts. Like when he would drop it, like they would be like, "Oh man, I'm ready," and it was just three of the same people every time. He would
mhm,
go just as hard for them as when he was doing shows, selling out venues and such. So I've always lived by that. Now we have 4. I mean, I
yeah,
feel like I am famous. I might as well be Mel Kiper. Um,
yeah,
and speaking of Mel Kiper, the Eagles also mentioned a couple things that might tip you off a little bit on what the draft is going to look like, or maybe the rest of.
trading back.
What was that?
We're trading back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Could be a trade back, but they talked about Howie Roseman and I think it was Nick Sirianni. One of the two. Honestly, I've seen tidbits of quotes in here and there, but they both one of the two again talked about the value of what they like, and they talked about the defensive line and the cornerback position, and that makes a lot of sense with what they prioritized this offseason, right? They went and they brought Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham back, and they brought their 2 cornerbacks back, and they kind of called CJ Gardner Johnson's bluff and said, "We're not interested anymore because you dragged your feet and tried to get us to pay a little more than what the market was offering." So they really do value certain positions, and it's been that way for years. I mean, Andy Reid, same thing. Trenches, cornerback was a big position of his.
Yeah,
Obviously, quarterback, and then some skill position players as well. But it really makes me believe that this first pick in the draft, it got to deal. They have to continue to go and try to find that Javon Hargrave replacement, another D tackle that can get in there, fit to Sean Desai's scheme, obviously,
mhm,
and then continue to. I just keep thinking about these comments. Um, continue to build around that
Yeah.
that scheme and the priorities that they have. So um, the 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 scheme might be a little different, but you still need the same style players. You need guys to get after the quarterback. You need guys that are specifically equipped to handle playing versatility, where they can line up in different spots and rotate in, because that's what the NFL is nowadays. It's all about dictating matchups and finding ways to keep bodies fresh, especially on your D line. So
Yeah.
with that first pick in the draft, you pretty much are looking at either a D line, and then the sleeper is going to be, if they go with Bijan or JSN, the Ohio State receiver, uh, so offensive weapon. So the fact that they have that pick is such a luxury, and I really can't wait to see how they use it and how the rest of this offseason unfolds and how they plug up some of these holes, so that maybe we can use that pick on something other than a D lineman. And then,
Yeah.
you still have a third, a second, a third, and that 30th pick in the first round as well, that you could potentially get some of those other, D line and some of the depth at other places. But that top pick is going to be a hell of a doozy to watch, because Howie Roseman can kick back, have some fun with it, and um, just do his thing.
Yeah, yeah, and there's just a lot of yeah. I mean, I think what they're going to trade back, they might have their sights set on someone at that's maybe in that 7 to 9 range, and if that person falls, maybe they go get him, maybe that the D lineman that they want. But if not, I don't see them reaching, because we do need someone to come in and contribute at a high level, but on the D line. But I just don't see us, like, we have that luxury where we do have, we could go into the season with what we have. We probably do need another safety, but it's I'm excited to see, like, what they do with this pick. And if they want to keep recouping first round picks, trade it back a few spots to a team that needs
Yeah.
someone.
Yep.
I'm for it.
Because there's a slew of, like, we don't, like you always say, you said it on this show several times. We
Yeah.
don't need a guy to come in and get 15 sacks or we're cooked. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need the 10th best player in this draft. So
Mm.
take advantage of that. Move back. You could get the 14th best player in the draft, the 17th best player in the draft. Pick up
Yeah.
another pick. You're still getting a great player. Might be a
Yeah.
rotational guy. Well, your fourth DN doesn't need to be the best ever. You know what I mean? So they can definitely take advantage of the luxury that they have, and the situation that they're in. So I'm super excited. I mean, Howie Roseman's done a phenomenal job this last several years to really flip this team into Jalen Hurts' team, and get away from that old regime. And it just keeps going. It's like I've never seen. I mean, we've been watching this team for what, since we were like 10, 11, 12, right? Really following it. And I've never seen, in my 21 years of watching this team, this much urgency year after year. Like, they really are just like, no, we got to go harder. We got to go harder. We got to go harder. And I just couldn't be more excited to see how they really build this thing, and what they do for an encore, because they went to the Super Bowl, and, Fletcher Cox said he ran to the locker room and puked. Did you see that quote?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Literally, guy couldn't handle the loss in the Super Bowl, and he just said he threw his guts up in the locker room. Like, that's crazy. So that bad taste is in their
Yeah.
mouth. No pun intended. That bad taste is definitely in Fletcher's mouth, and they need to write that. They need to get these guys what they deserve, and the fans too, man. We were there all year screaming our lungs out, and I feel like I'm part of the team. So
I mean, hey, you're at every game, so you were last year pretty much.
oh, yeah, I might as well have been on the field in my
Yeah.
stance.
Yeah, get a helmet on.
Yep, I
Right.
might as well wear that helmet I have back here to the game. So, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun seeing what this team does moving forward. And I have the patience. I got the Phillies. I'll watch some Phillies. The slow
Yeah.
burn of baseball, like, carrying us through the summer, and before we know it, it'll be time. But next thing up is filling the rest of this roster out, free agents throughout, and then the draft. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna leave you at this though. Jeffrey Simmons on the Titans. I'm following all the Titans. Feels like a Howie trade. Do
It
you think
does.
they
It
do you
does.
think they do something with that 30th pick, or is it possible the Titans are just like, nah, we don't want it?
No more Eagles trades.
If we were in the NFC, AFC, they would not be trading, even consider the possibility of that.
No, I think the Titans are kind of out of leverage in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
You have a guy that wants to leave, and you don't want to pay him. You're going to be out of leverage. However, the problem is the reason he wants to leave is because he wants that money.
Right.
And I think that you can't, like I brought it up before. If the Eagles could pay a D lineman $22 to $24 million a year, whatever the going rate's going to be, it's going to be around that. They probably would have made a competitive offer for Javon Hargrave and kept him. But people will be like, well, Jeffrey Simmons is better. He's younger. He's more, someone you want to pay. But we didn't know Jeffrey Simmons was available at that time. So the
Yeah.
fact that they didn't make a competitive offer at all for Javon Hargrave and kind of just knew like he's gone, just kind of tells me that like I just don't think that's something that they can do. And if they do it, then I'm wrong. But I think that the bigger factor here is going and finding, your own Jeffrey Simmons for a rookie contract. So drafting a D tackle, obviously not going to be as good as Jeffrey Simmons. Let's put it that way. But I would give up whatever. I mean, he's exactly what Howie Roseman looks to acquire a guy that's, on that. The problem is you have to pay him right away. And unfortunately, that just might not be possible for us. I mean, I don't know, unless he does have a year left on his deal and they
He
want
does. Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
okay. Then
So
I mean, it's possible for sure. I mean,
you
it's
get a signing bonus, the cap hit. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, but then you kind of when you trade, it's kind of like AJ Brown, where like if the Titans wanted to pay him, he would have just been there, but they
Yeah.
don't. So if they do trade him, I feel like the new team that Jeffrey Simmons goes to is already going to know, like, we just need to extend this guy. We can't let him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a sign and trade kind of thing for
Right.
sure.
So
Yeah.
so I don't know. I would love it because the guy's a complete freak. I mean, he's the best D tackle that does what he does in the NFL pretty much. And it would be, I mean, it would be perfect, but I just don't know if it's going to work. And, I'll never doubt Howie. But we do have the ammo to get him. And that would be an amazing deal. But I think we're going to have to wait and see. I think we're going to have to see how that develops and how it happens. So
If you can get them, I'm going to worry about 2024 and 2024. That's what I say. Keep, maintain the long view, but, keep taking shots.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love it. And I would love it. And I absolutely think that, that's a guy they'd like to get. But I think that we're gonna Jeffrey Simmons aside, there's going to be some more shoes to drop, so to speak.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman's got a couple more moves up his sleeve. He's definitely got something that's going to surprise us. I can just say that much. And they're not done adding talent to this team. They're not going to be done till August, but within this next month, 2 months, I think they're going to make a move, whether it's in the draft, whether it's a trade, whether it's another pickup. They're going to make another move or two that are like, okay, like we're talking now, we're cooking now. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see what happens. And it's just it sucks because you're not really like waiting. You're not watching anything or watching a game. You're just waiting for like a notification on your phone to see like, Adam Schefter reports Eagles pick up this guy. So, but I like the Terrell Edmonds pickup a lot, and I like the other bargain deals. So, I don't think that's something we talked about because I think it happened on Friday. I think that's another guy that helps you, match up with offenses when they spread you out. You can, have him do different things and he play close to the line of scrimmage. So that's a good. I don't think he's as good as C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but cheap deal. First round pick, 75 starts. Again, you don't want to see this team struggle because they don't have experience, because you have young guys that are like, I don't know what to do. Like you have this veteran team. They didn't sign all these guys and keep all these veterans to like mess around with some unproven guys like throughout your roster. So you're going after guys that are talented, that have first round pedigree, that have starts under their belt, that know how to play, that know the NFL and have proven they can play in the NFL. Now, does that mean they're a superstar? Terrell Edmonds? No, he's not a superstar, but he's a good starter in the NFL. And that's really complementing, what we have building our superstar core. And that's it. So I like that kind of pickup. I think you're going to see some more of that, but you're going to see some swing. You're going to see a swing. We'll see Howie Roseman swing the bat. And hopefully he'll make contact and drive one out of the park for us. But it might happen in the draft, trade, like I said, but we'll see. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It always does. But what they did last year, that leap, it matters. Losing the Super Bowl sucks, but it matters for building that long-term view, and people believe and people want to come here. All these guys on defense taking these 1-year deals to prove it. Rashad Penny, everyone sees that I'm going to have a good year on this team because this football team is really good.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity, especially, a guy like Greedy Williams, and just finished his rookie contract, took a 1-year deal. He's kind of in the balance, like, I might not achieve that level of, stardom that I was gonna after college, but I could parlay this into like a nice 3-year deal after this with another team if I,
Yeah.
I play well enough. And same with I'm sure Edmonds is out there at a higher scale is looking for, hey, like I'm gonna show people that I can play in this system and go. And I mean, you see, TJ Edwards, he was in our system for a really long time, and wish him nothing but the best. He did a great job for us, but he was able to build up his value over the years by staying in the building, and he was rewarded for it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you saw CJ misplayed his market, but he had a great year here. So you're looking
Yeah.
at Terrell Edmonds. He's like, well, look, they have 2 great corners. They have a great pass rush. They have a great offense. Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't I want to come here?
Yeah.
A prove deal in Philly is a great deal. Like,
Yeah.
you have everything you need to be successful, like you said. So same
Yeah.
with Rashad Penny with that O line. Like, why wouldn't I want to play here? If I stay healthy, I could rush for 1,000 and get a big, like maybe not a big contract because running backs are what they are, but that it's that mindset, and that's what matters when you go to the Super Bowl and you compete and you show that you have some like life and you show that you're a good team. So even though they lost the Super Bowl, I'm going to say this a million times, it still matters because you still want to keep that window open, and the only way you keep it open is you open it, and that's what they did last year. And now you're seeing these 1-year deals, and the Eagles are benefiting off it. So appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
I'm going to see this last comment. We got thoughts on Kenny Pickett, and he said, as a man with small hands, I find myself rooting for him. I don't know Kenny Pickett. We absolutely dusted that guy, but he played really well down the stretch.
Yeah.
And Steelers, thanks for Terrell Edmonds. That's all I know about the Steelers. So
Yeah. I can't name too many guys on the Steelers these years, honestly.
no, honestly, got a couple of them. I know Najee Harris 8 yards away from me hitting $1,000 parlay the day they played the Eagles, and I was at the game. I probably actually would have got arrested if I would have hit that parlay. So thank God I didn't. But yeah. So hey, Phillies tomorrow. Good luck to them.
Yep.
Absolutely got to get a big W. Love starting the season off with a W. 1-0 on the road to 162-0. I'll take it.
Yeah. 162-0. Here we go, baby.
Yep, there we go. But catch us next week. Hopefully the Wednesday, but things happen, and we might need to reschedule. And
Wednesday, I'm gonna be at my house actually for once, so I'm ready.
There we go. All right, guys, we'll see you next Wednesday. Time will be released. Tune in. What else is there to say? But fly, Eagles, fly, right?
Yep, fly, Go Phils.
Let's go.